You could have stuck up for me.
But this is law school, Ford. The whole point is to argue, to disagree.
But not with me at a time like this.
Horner versus Great Canadian was decided by your great-great-grandfather, Judge Ford.
He's coming to class?
We'd like you to run.
Oh, I'm flattered, really.
How did you find out?
Find out? Find out what?
That I'm running.
Not until I am through.
You are through now.
The study of law is something new and unfamiliar to most of you, unlike any other schooling that you have ever known before.
First years are hard years, much more than we know. With good friends to love us, we'll feel every blow. Stay open to all things, unknown and new. And one day, we'll all say, hey, look, we've come through. Hey, look, we've come through. And one day, we'll all say, hey, look, we've come through the first years.
You teach yourselves the law, but I train your minds. You come in here with a skull full of mush, and if you survive, you leave thinking like a lawyer.
Hey, there you are. Come on. We'll go up and see him right now.
Okay, look, if you guys really want this to happen, let me handle it. Make your pitch when I give you the signal.
Well, why do we have to be so careful?
Because he's the right guy for the job. He's a winner, but he's very busy. He's under a lot of pressure than any good man should be. Don't you agree? Hi, all right. Got some friends.
My contract notes? You found them. Fantastic.
Oh, contract notes. Excuse me. Let me introduce June Decker.
Hello, Hart.
Ben Allison. And yeah, Tim Rand. James T. Hart. They're all members of the Law School Council.
The Law School Council. Why? Something wrong?
No, Hart. June, why don't you start?
Well, we've heard a lot about you. We've been watching you. We see how the other first-year students relate to you, and we know you're a good student.
Every year there's one vacancy for a first-year student on the council. We'd like you to run.
Oh, I'm flattered, really. But I can't. When you brought this up, I told you I couldn't. I'm sorry. I've got too much work to do. I can't run. I'm barely keeping up with my classwork.
Well, you think about it, Hart. It's nice talking.
We'll check back with you. It would look good on your record. Call if you have any questions at all.
Right there.
Anderson, I don't think that man wants to be on the council.
Oh, he does. I know it. Now, just leave everything to me, will you? I'll manage his campaign. I'll write his speeches, make his appointments. The whole shot.
We'll see.
Okay, Hart, the next step is going to be...
Why did you do this to me? Why me? Why not Logan or Bell or Ford? That's it. I left my contract notes with Ford.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh! Listen, I'm sorry. I should have knocked.
He is not an escaped lunatic. He's just an average, ordinary law student.
I'm going. I'm sorry. I had no idea.
Hart, relax. This is my sister, Tracy. My father is here interviewing third-year students for jobs, so Tracy came along to visit me. This is Hart, our resident expert on Kingsfield.
My contract notes.
Oh, yeah, I borrowed them because my father always likes to quiz me on contract stuff. And if I don't know the answers, he practically falls apart.
Yes, you don't know our father. He has these very rigid ideas.
Good to meet you.
You're gonna be okay. Just keep your mouth shut and sit in the back row.
All right.
And whatever you do, don't raise your hand, even to scratch your head. He might call on you.
All right. You know, Daddy's coming to the class, too.
He's coming to class? Why didn't you tell me? I thought he was busy interviewing the 3Ls for jobs.
Got one of his junior partners to fill in for him. He wants to see you in class.
I do not want him to come. Kingsfield is bad enough.
Ford, I hear your dad is here. I think I saw him. Look, he can help me. I'd like to get a job with James and Ford for the summer.
Oh, well, come on.
Your father's a senior partner. You can put a word in. You can get me an interview, Ford.
They don't hire first-year students for summer jobs.
They can if they want to. I mean, they're so big. Those big Wall Street law firms can do anything they want. And the pay.
Now, leave him alone. You have your own entree to Mr. Ford. Your father's one of his biggest clients, isn't it?
So what? I'm not going to trade on my father's relationship with him. I don't have to. I got my own way of doing things.
Come on, Tracy, let's get out of here. I got to get my mind together before class.
Come on, Ford. Ford. Give a break, will you?
Now, we are entering that brief season of madness in which the leading law firms of this country invade our campus with the intention of hiring some of our graduates. It is therefore entirely appropriate that we should review what constitutes offer and valid acceptance. First of all, let's take the simple case of Bates versus Condor Bank. Miss Logan?
The Condor Bank put up a sign offering to pay a reward to anyone who caught someone robbing the bank. Someone did rob the bank, and a man named Bates caught him. Bates went to collect the reward, and do you know what the bank did? In typical fashion for a bank.
I know precisely what the bank did. Some in this class may not, and never will if you persist in your personal and irrelevant comments. Mr. Hart.
The bank said Bates should have come in before the robbery and made a formal acceptance. You know, say, I accept the offer, I'll keep my eyes peeled, and if somebody does try to rob the bank, I will apprehend him. Since Bates didn't do that, the bank refused to pay anything.
And the judgment of the court?
It held that by the terms of the reward offer, the act of acceptance was in the capture of the criminal himself. Acceptance, therefore, doesn't always have to be verbal. Sometimes it can be an act.
Now, what if Bates had not seen the award offer? What if he went out and captured the criminal as a good citizen doing his duty? Now, what then? Should he still receive the reward? Mr. Ford.
No, sir, I don't think he should be given the reward. It is not possible to accept an offer if you don't know about it.
In other words, you don't wish to reward the good Samaritan who goes out and captures a dangerous criminal.
Sir, I do not see the bank as being obligated to reward someone who isn't concerned.
In other words, you see contract law as representing a society in which only those who do things for money or for selfish gain should receive a reward. Is that it?
No, sir, that is not what I mean.
But what precisely do you mean, Mr. Ford?
Mr. Hart? I think the issue here is whether reward contracts constitutes a special form of offer and acceptance. Obviously, society is interested in stopping crime, and reward contracts raise fundamental issues in our society. And the two examples you gave, Bates's actions were the same. He stopped the criminal. But the motivations were different. In one, the motive was to get the reward money, and the other was to stop a crime. Now, what part does motive play in contract law and in reward contracts?
Hart! You knew my father was here. You could have agreed with me. You could have supported my answer.
I didn't know he was here.
You saw my sister. Who'd you think that was with her? A 60-year-old boyfriend?
Ford, I don't notice anything except Kingsville in this class.
That issue could have been argued both ways. You could have stuck up for me.
But this is law school, Ford. The whole point is to argue, to disagree.
But not with me at a time like this.
Come on, Ford. Relax, relax. Walk with me to the library.
You go your way. I'm going mine.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Jim Hart.
How old are you, honey?
18. 16.
Well, you're gonna need some food in front of you.
Oh. A hamburger, okay?
Sure. You a friend of Hart's?
I'm Ford's sister.
Oh, sure, I know Ford.
All right, Tracy, I'm glad you're here. Is Ford coming in tonight? I was hoping to see him.
Oh, he's with my father.
No. Well, can I get you something?
Well, I already ordered a hamburger.
Can I get you anything else? Coffee, milk?
Could you sit down and talk for a second? I was hoping maybe we'd be too busy. Ford talks a lot about you. He really likes you. So, what's it like coming from a farm?
Oh, it's really nice. Minnesota's beautiful. It isn't just the farm. It's the whole way of life. It's wonderful.
Must be nice.
Tracy, is Ford okay?
How do you mean?
Well, do you know what happened after class today?
Oh, that. Yeah, I know he hassled you, but he really does like you. He feels he has to keep up with this great holy tradition of the Fords. I mean, how do you think I feel? He's my father, too.
Well, at least you're not in law school. You don't have this pressure.
I have other pressures.
I get your chow.
There you go, Hart. Hart, wake up. You're working. Hart.
Ernie, what would you think if I ran for the 1LC from the Law Council?
I think you'd win.
You mean that?
Sure. I've seen the way the guys react to you. You're liked, admired, you're not a stuffed shirt, you have a good chance. Yeah, it might be nice to have the 1L member of the Law Council waiting on tables. If you know what I mean.
Might give it a try.
You could have cited the case of Mason versus Jordan. You might also have cited Horner versus Great Canadian. Why didn't you?
Because I didn't know about those cases.
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
They're all well-known cases dealing with reward contracts and offer and acceptance.
They weren't in the case book.
You could have found them in the library. Horner versus Great Canadian was decided by your great-great-grandfather, Judge Ford. How do you expect to survive here?
Father, I am doing the best I can. I have organized the study group I am with. I am working 15 hours a day. I am really trying.
No Ford has ever needed a special dispensation to enter the firm.
Dad, please.
I suggest that you consider your position. You might, for example, press yourself a little and work all night. I used to. And then you might thrust yourself forward in Kingsfield's class. I'll be there, by the way, watching. Another thing. There is one seat allocated for a first-year student in the Law Council. Why don't you put yourself up for it?
Oh, Father, I don't think I'd have a chance. I haven't got the backing.
You are a Ford. Fords try.
Besides, one of the members of my study group, Hart, the one with all those wonderful answers in class this morning, they're trying to get him to run. He's very popular. I'm sure the study group would line up behind him.
You organize that study group. They'll be loyal when they see your campaign. People vote for the man who is best. And that can be you if you want it to be. You do want it to be.
Yes.
Good.
do I have to put up a sign? Will you leave me alone?
Could we have a little talk? I know the pressure you've been under. I just talked to Tracy.
Will you stay away from Tracy? She is 16. What's the matter with you?
Let's just talk for a minute.
No, we cannot talk for a minute. I am too busy. I don't have time. I'm doing a complete review job for Kingsfield's class tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a different story. I'm going to know this stuff cold.
Okay.
Hart. Maybe I am overreacting. You could do me one favor. You're the big contract law expert. Sometimes I think you know what Kingsfield's going to say before he says it.
Not often.
Yeah, well, do you think he's going to stay with reward contracts tomorrow or skip ahead to indefinite contracts?
Ford, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know.
But you do. Look, I don't have time to study both in complete detail. At least give me your best guess. Guess!
He's going to stick with reward contracts.
Now, before we leave the subject of reward contracts, a summary is in order. Miss Logan, would you undertake to enlighten us?
In reward cases, the law stretches its doctrine of offer and acceptance to achieve something very important socially. Rewarding a person...
Mr. Ford, since you seem intent upon making noise, perhaps you'd better make it with your mouth rather than with your hands. I shall now give you that opportunity. Since we're about to consider indefinite contracts, would you please elaborate on the case of Watkins versus Deutscher?
Watkins?
Page 418, Mr. Ford.
Sir, I spent the entire night studying reward contracts, sir. Ask me any question about them, sir. I haven't been to bed, sir. I didn't think we'd be through with them so soon. I mean, you've skipped 3 whole cases, sir.
I am not interested in excuses, Mr. Ford. I suggest that you sit down, take out your pen, and make careful notes of the ensuing discussion. Since you will not be a participant, you might as well be a scribe and get something out of this class.
Excuse me. Yeah, there. Hi, I'm glad I got you. Here it is, the whole platform. James T. Hart for Law School Counsel. Read that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Hi, James T. Hart for Law School Counsel. Make sure you vote, huh? Hi, how you doing? James T. Hart, Law School Counsel. Read that. Hey! James T. Hart, Law School Counsel. Huh?
I like it. Right, straight, reliable. Not bad.
Well, it's not flashy. You can say that, but in law school, the duller the better.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say it was dull. It may not be too inspired, but I don't see it as dull.
I wouldn't say it's the kind of thing that make you go join the Crusades. And again, this is law school, man. You gotta understand the mentality. And sip it is safe. There you go.
Some manager.
Hey, you're a shoo-in. Look at this. James T. Hart, Law School Counsel. Look at this crowd, huh? There you go. James T. Hart, Law School Counsel.
Now I see what you two are made of. All this time working behind my back.
Behind your back? Nothing's behind your back, Ford. I was the one who told you we were trying to get Hart to run.
Yeah, but you made it seem like you didn't want to. And you did it just because... How did you find out?
Find out? Find out what?
That I'm running. Tracy. You've been seeing Tracy.
You're running for law counsel?
Straight. Honest. I'll never forget this, Hart. You ruined me in class, in front of my father, all because you knew all along you were going to run and you didn't want opposition.
Ford, you're flipping out. That was never in my mind.
And I know why, Hart. I know why. Because you've hated me. You've been jealous of me. Oh, you pretend to be my friend, but you've hated me all along because of my family. I've seen it happen before. Well, we are better, Hart. Not because we're richer. I couldn't help that. We are better because we don't stab people in the back.
Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say the boy's becoming unhinged.
Is Professor Kingsfield in?
Mr. Ford, I hope you found some good people for your law firm.
I asked you if he was in.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll see if...
I want to talk to you.
Perhaps you'd better sit down.
Charles, I have sat in on your class for 2 days. I have watched the way you have torn into my son. Now, the Fords have made some significant contributions to this school.
Yes, I recall an excellent piece you wrote when you were on Law Review about rotating remainders.
You are going after him the way you used to go after me. You have singled him out. You're making a mockery of him in front of the class. I want it to stop.
That is enough.
I am just getting started.
Then I advise you to stop now.
Do you think I'm going to let this go by with no response? You are picking on him because he is a Ford. You're trying to belittle a student whose family has produced some of this country's great lawyers.
I have advised you to stop.
You can't tell me what to do. I'm not in your class anymore.
Because of our long relationship, I have tried to give you every benefit of the doubt. But since you seem incapable of composing yourself, I must ask you to leave.
Not until I am through.
You are through now. Good day, Mr. Ford.
Come in.
I can't sleep. I thought you might like to go for a walk or something.
Tracy, I think you better go back to your hotel. I can't go for a walk with you. I can't do anything with you. I'd like to, but I can't.
So you think there's nothing going on between us, then? Why'd you change your mind?
Because you're too young and I'm too old.
I'm growing all the time.
You certainly are growing. You're also leaving.
Oh, hi. Excuse me. Hi. Hey, you ready? Here we go. This is going to be your first major speech, so we'll rehearse it. Let's go.
Oh, we can't attack Ford. I can't say this.
But Ford has nothing to do with this. Now, come on. I've worked on it for hours.
But this isn't me.
Hart, you got to say something.
Let me think a minute.
Okay. It's good. Set the atmosphere. Good.
The food in the cafeteria needs more than better supervision. It needs a rebirth. It needs to become food.
Right, you got him. Got him.
Major lectures should be taped, put on cassettes, and made available on a non-profit basis so they can be listened to again. Why not even while you're sleeping, which is why you missed them in the first place.
They'll love it. They'll love it. 20. Bardos versus... How do you pronounce it?
Shawinski. Sorry.
Supreme Court. I have been writing campaign platforms that I think will have a lot of meaning for this school, and I expect your support. What is important is making this school better, not running some popularity contest. Now, I know you are all behind Hart, but I'm calling a debt. I want your allegiance. I formed this study group. It has to support me.
You don't get support by demanding it, Ford.
Sometimes that's the only way you can get it.
Well, that's the most honest thing I've ever heard you say.
All right. Where does everybody stand? Anderson.
I'm Hart's campaign manager.
I want your vote anyway.
I can't.
Bell?
I'm voting for Hart.
Jonathan.
I happen to like Hart's platform, Ford. I don't even know yours.
It's being developed. Logan.
Ford, I can't. I'm voting for Hart.
Why?
Because I believe he'll be better for the job than you are. I'll be honest with you, Ford. I think he's more objective, closer to his feelings, and I think he has a more open mind.
Closer to his feelings? Are you telling me I am not close to my feelings? That I am not emotional? I don't feel things?
Professor Kingsfield, the dean is here to see you.
Never keep the dean waiting, Mrs. Nottingham.
Well, Charles, I lose these arguments every time I make them. This is the 4th time in 2 years you've seriously antagonized an alumnus. So, I'm going to make another attempt. Something has to be done. Mr. Ford is pressuring for your retirement, and you know how much weight he carries with the alumni.
This school does not depend upon the firm of Janes and Ford. It depends upon principles.
I know that, Charles, of course.
Then what precisely are you asking of me?
Can't you try to patch things up? You did kick him out of your office.
He deserved it. He suggested I favor one student over another.
For the good of the school, Charles, bend a little. Bend once in your life.
You may arrange a meeting with Mr. Ford here in this office, if that is what you desire.
Then you'll apologize.
Excuse me, I believe Mr. Justice Reynolds is waiting for a telephone call from me.
Thank you, Charles. I feel I've made some progress. This time I don't know if I've lost.
Didn't see you at dinner. Thought you might like some dessert. What are you working on? Ford, I'm not a traitor. I'm your friend.
Then withdraw from the election.
Withdraw from the election. I only just got started.
You won't lay off me in class. You won't withdraw from the election. You turn the study group against me. You try to turn my kid sister on.
Ford, you're crazy.
Oh, I'm crazy. Well, we'll just see about that.
You're a nice guy. I'd rather be in your study group than any on campus. You've been an incredible help to me, not only in criminal law, throughout the whole semester. You know the ropes, you know the way the law school operates. It's in your blood. I listen to everything you say about law school. I want you to listen to something I have to say, okay? You're having rough going. People under that kind of pressure sometimes need support. Need someone to help take the heat off themselves.
You are suggesting the campus psychiatrist. Forget it. I am running for national office someday. No one with a psychiatric record can ever win an important election. That is not going to happen to me. I'm going to fight this, Hart. I'm going to thrust myself forward without help from you or anyone. And now I am busy.
Ford, listen.
It is late, I am tired and busy, and I have important work.
Do you want the beer?
No.
I heard you already took a job with the law firm in California. Now, why do you want an interview with Janes and Ford?
I signed up. At least it would give me a chance to meet the great Mr. Ford.
Let me take your place. I can make it worth your while. I mean, everybody can use a few extra bucks, right?
Look, Bill, you're a first-year student, and law firms don't hire them for summer jobs. If you were a third-year student like me, then, I don't know, maybe.
I know I'm just a 1L, but he's gonna hire me when I show him the work I've been doing. Property outline.
How much extra bucks did you say?
Your resume is impressive. I think the firm would like a chance to investigate you further. You're invited for a formal visit to the firm, at our expense, of course.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, on your way out, would you show the next gentleman in, please?
Certainly.
Let's see, your name is Mapes, is it not? I don't seem to have your resume.
The name is Willis Bell, sir. I didn't have a chance to write up a resume, but I brought you my property outline. All 200 pages of it. It's a masterpiece.
A third-year student taking property?
Oh, I'm a first-year student, sir. I'm one of your son Franklin's best friends. Well, I mean, like, we do all sorts of things together. You'll hire me if you'll just look at the outline. Come on, start reading. Get into it.
Please, calm down.
Just look at it. You'll love it. Put your eyes down on that paper, and you'll find that Bell here is going to excel at your law firm.
I don't intend to hire you now or in the future, Mr. Bell, nor do I ever want to see or hear of you again.
But my father's one of your biggest clients, sir.
You're Elias Bell's son?
Yes.
That's worse. Let me tell you that never in my entire career have I allowed myself to be influenced.
I didn't mean to mention it, sir. I didn't mean to. Just forget I said it, okay? It's just that I wanted you to take a look at my outline on property, sir, which I know would make a terrific impression on you if you just take a look at it.
I just took a cab from the hotel. My brother's in his room, but he won't take any phone calls from me or from my father. That's not like him. I don't know, I'm worried. Will you go over there with me?
See if I can get off.
Ernie, I gotta check on Ford. I'm going with the sister.
Okay, go ahead. I think you'd better wait in my room. I think it'd be better if I talked to him alone. You might get the wrong impression if we talk to him together.
No, I want to come too.
Okay, but let me try first. Ford?
Hi, where have you been? I've been looking all over for you. I called the tavern. What's going on?
Hold it. Ford?
Ford, it's Logan. May I come in?
Listen, you got your speech in exactly 10 minutes. Let's hit it, huh?
Oh, what a mess. It's awful.
Oh, brother, he really freaked out.
Where do you think he could have gone?
Let's see if we can find out.
Your speech, Hart. Your election speech. You get it in 5 minutes. The whole law school's waiting.
Give it yourself, Anderson. Yes?
I'm sorry to bother you at night, Charles, but I've had a very busy schedule. The dean says you've got something you want to say to me.
Indeed I have.
You don't have to apologize. I accept the fact that you are willing to.
I had absolutely no intention of apologizing.
What? The dean said.
The spectrum of individual relations. What are the ends of the spectrum?
Are you trying to be Socratic with me? I'm not in your contract law class.
You are the senior partner of Janes and Ford. You're one of the best lawyers in the country. And you don't recall the elements of contract law.
Of course I can.
All right. The spectrum of relationships. At each end of the spectrum, there are relationships that make it very difficult to form contracts.
When the parties are hostile to each other and powerful, it is hard to get them to come to an agreement, like large countries trying to make treaties. These relationships cannot be handled under the normal rules. There must be flexibility.
And at the other end of the spectrum?
Intimate relationship.
Example.
Where are we going with this?
Are you or are you not a great lawyer? Are you capable of sustaining a serious argument, or have you so far deteriorated?
I have never been afraid of you, Charles. And I think you will find my mind has sharpened beyond yours.
Good. It was like arrogance. Example.
Family relationships. People have to get along. We want families to stay together. When one member tries to enforce his will upon another, it causes friction, tension. The family split up. Again and again, we find contract law cases where families try to draw up hard and fast rules, It never works.
And when there is no formal contract, what then?
Negotiation.
And?
Respect.
One might also say affection. Good God, man, don't you realize what you're doing to that son of yours who has all the makings of a fine lawyer? You know the principles. I taught them to you years ago. Obey them now.
Don't think for a moment you're going to get an apology from me for going to the dean.
Our relationship is within the spectrum, my friend. After so many years, there are elements of respect and affection that need no apology.
In that case, I apologize.
International Airlines, do you have a booking on any flight within the next couple of hours for Mr. Franklin?
No emergency admittances under that name?
Sure, no one by that name.
Could you
has made a
check for me one
reservation?
more time? I'd really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're sure?
Got no more change. I've made 14 calls.
11.
Not a clue.
Maybe he just went home.
Oh, no way. You wouldn't go back there. Where would he go? I'm really worried now.
Logan, take Tracy to your room. I've got just one wild idea.
What is it?
It's probably nothing.
Seems to me you ought to be making your big speech about now, Hart. Telling all the law students what a great leader you're gonna be. What's the matter? Don't you think you even have to make a campaign speech?
Yeah? Can't let your father do this to you, Ford. We need you. They have the study group.
Sure you'll be glad to take over that function, too?
Running away from school isn't going to solve anything.
What do you see when you're in this classroom? You see Kingsfield, don't you? Sure, everybody does. But I have two Kingsfields. The other one is that particularly haughty fellow on the left. That judge with the great cold eyes and that tight mouth. That happens to be my great-great-grandfather. Good old, horrible Judge Ford. And every day, when Kingsfield is talking, the old judge snarls down at me, reminding me that I'm not as good a lawyer as he was, not as good as his son was, and certainly not as good as my father is. I didn't really need my father to come down here and tell me what a dummy I am. Good old great-great-grandfather has been doing it all along. The great tradition of the Fords. I've come to pay my last respects. Why don't you join me in a toast to the old creep?
Ford, you're a great lawyer and a great person.
Don't worry worry about me, Hart. I'll get a job driving a truck.
Forget about your family for a second. You didn't come here to pay your last respects to Gramps. You came here because you love this place. Before your father came, you were fine. Admit it, Ford. You love this law school.
No, Hart, I hate it. And I hate my family, too. You got it, Gramps? You, too.
Admit it, Ford. You love it. You wouldn't be here paying your last respects if you didn't love it. You don't want to go. Why don't you say what you really feel for the first time?
I hate it.
You love it.
I hate it.
You love it.
Damn it, Hart, what are you doing to me? You know I love it.
You gonna let this good bottle of booze go to waste? What about a toast to Anderson? Two best candidates for the election don't show up. And old Anderson gets a free shot at the vacancy. I bet he's up there right now. And he's probably not making a fool of himself.
Here's Joe Anderson.
Do you think a couple of campaign slogans are in order? Anderson for law school counsel. Anderson for president. Anderson for king.
Why not? A campaign for the king.
Okay. How about Anderson for president of the Women's League and the PTA? How about a piece of chalk for you? How about starting with Anderson for president? For president.
You keep on with the slogans. I'm gonna make one more toast to good old Gramps.
Professor Kingsfield, as a representative of the Law School Council, Mr. Kingsfield, as a representative to the Law School Council. Come on!
Well, I guess I ought to offer my congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Law school's in good hands. Don't worry about a thing.
Well, you come off it, Anderson. You got elected because nobody showed up. Either Hart or Ford would have beaten you.
I beg your pardon, but I'll have you know that I won the election by acclamation.
They had to do it that way because you weren't nominated by petition. It was sheer luck, Anderson.
I'll need good ideas to run the school. Talk with Kingsfield is definitely in order. I'm going to talk to him about new seminars, shorter, more frequent vacations, and the fundamental value of the Socratic method. I don't believe that.
I see that my blackboard bears the name of the successful candidate in our recent election. Congratulations, Mr. Anderson, on a most impressive victory.
Thank you, sir.
Clean it.
Excuse me, sir, but since you know the school so well, that I feel that at this time your help would be of a great deal of service to the first year.
Clean it, Mr. Anderson. Make my blackboard as clean and empty as the vast and arid desert of your mind.
First years are hard years, much more than we know. With good friends to love us, we'll feel every blow. Stay open to all things.